Lebanon has been drawn into the widening war in Iran. In the past week, Israeli airstrikes and ground operations targeting Hezbollah militants have killed hundreds and forced more than 500,000 people to flee. David Daoud is my guest. Shortly, we'll be talking about this latest fighting and what it means for Lebanon, for Hezbollah and for Israel. But before that analysis, here's some context. Last weekend, Iranian Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei was killed in US-Israeli strikes on Iran. The Iranian-backed group Hezbollah retaliated by attacking Israel, and then Israel responded with its offensive in Lebanon. The capital, Beirut's southern suburbs, have been a main focus of Israel's military campaign against Hezbollah. Southern Beirut is known to be a stronghold of the group. The same area is still recovering from Israel's last war against Hezbollah just 2 years ago. Lebanon's president has accused the group of trying to wreck the country with its fragile makeup of religious groups. Lebanon's government has been trying to get Hezbollah to lay down its weapons in accordance with the agreement that ended the last war with Israel. But a senior Hezbollah official says the group intends to defend its existence, whether Israel likes it or not.
Our goal is clear and specific: to expel the enemy from our occupied land, to stop its attacks and violations by air, sea and land, to liberate the prisoners and return them to their families, to end the targeting of our people and their security, to ensure the unimpeded return of residents to their villages, and to rebuild their towns and homes. And quite plainly, we have no other option to preserve our honor, dignity and pride than resistance.
Israel's defense minister has vowed to keep going after Hezbollah until the group is defeated.
From this point, we certainly must not only refrain from withdrawing in the face of Hezbollah, but take advantage of the opportunity, as you say, to strike it. We are striking it, and we will strike it. We shall not give details about it now. Prepare the operational plans in order to strike and exact a price from it and thwart its capabilities.
We can speak now to David Daoud, Senior Fellow at the Foundation for the Defense of Democracies. He's focused on Lebanon and Hezbollah. David, can I just ask you about the choice of words we just heard from Israel's Defense Minister, particularly when he's talking about what he says is an opportunity that Israel has right now to strike Hezbollah. What do you make of that?
Well, thank you for having me on. Look, I mean, Hezbollah has been in dire straits even prior to the November 2024 ceasefire and the war that preceded it. With the economic collapse of Lebanon in 2019, Hezbollah had to shoulder a lot of the burden for its support base, the Shiite support base. Then it compounded that with war, obviously. So Hezbollah is not going to give Israel many opportunities to do it damage. And in the meantime, it's going to exploit that quiet as it did prior to 2019, as it did after 2019, as it's done since 2024 to build up its arsenal. Now, Hezbollah has made another mistake intervening against Israel on behalf of the Iranian regime's survival. It's not just to avenge Ali Khamenei's death. And this is giving Israel an opportunity to escalate its operations against Hezbollah, to stop Hezbollah in its tracks from continuing to arm. And this is an opportunity, like I said, that Hezbollah is not going to give the Israelis readily.
Right. Hezbollah has been weakened in recent years, but it's still managed to survive. Could you tell us how it's managed to do that and how strong is the group right now?
Well, Hezbollah is a highly adaptable organization. We know this about it from its inception. At the end of the Lebanese civil war, Hezbollah went from being the Iranian Revolution in Lebanon, as it called itself, to a Lebanese parliamentary party, again, to integrate into the system. Since November 2024, they've been dancing between the raindrops in the same way. Naim Qassem has leaned into the group's Lebanese identity. He's also framed Hezbollah's disarmament that has been discussed in Beirut as a threat, not just to Hezbollah, but a threat to the Shiite community, and through that dangled the threat, the prospect of civil war in front of Lebanon, right? If you're attacking Hezbollah, and by attacking Hezbollah, you're attacking the Shiites, you have to worry, is that going to bring about civil war? That has stopped Lebanon from pursuing Hezbollah's disarmament, and Hezbollah has used that stalling, that inaction, to reestablish supply routes, to lean in on its domestic weapons production capability, to lean into methods and channels of funding through Syria. Even after the downfall of the Assad regime, right? Syria is not fully consolidated yet. Hezbollah and Iran have found fissures that they've exploited to continue funding. They've been leaning in on crypto. They've been building drones. They've been working on building small-range missiles, all things that can fly under the radar of continued Israeli action in Lebanon and whatever tightening of controls that Lebanon was willing to do at the airport, at the borders, under Israeli pressure and under international pressure.
Yeah, it's really great how you were sort of outlining how adaptable Hezbollah has been, particularly in the last few years. That's been really helpful. But is Hezbollah in any position to play an effective role as an ally to Iran right now?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it depends on what you mean by effective role. What Hezbollah is trying to do now is precisely what it did on October 8th of 2023 when it attacked Israel in support of its allies in the Gaza Strip, Hamas, Palestinian Islamic Jihad, and so on and so forth. It's to divide Israeli attention. Right now, Israeli attention, American attention are laser focused on the Iranian regime, to bring down the regime. That seems to be the goal of the war in Iran, according to Prime Minister Netanyahu and President Trump. So what Hezbollah is trying to do is divide the attention, take the burden off of Iran to slow the progress of the war in Iran, to slow the progress of the decimation of the regime and its assets, in the hopes that as the war drags on, as its impact continues or starts to affect Americans, especially Americans at home, that pressure, that groundswell of pressure, will influence President Trump, who has midterms coming up, to stop the war prematurely, and in doing so will allow the regime to survive, diminished, but to survive. And if it survives, if the Iranian regime survives, it will come back in 5 to 10 years or whenever it finds the opportunity to do so. So effective insofar as it takes pressure off of Iran and that buys the Iranian regime time, then yes, it is effective. Is it effective in the sense of a conventional victory over Israel? Hezbollah is saying that that's not what they're aiming for.
The Lebanese government has been distancing itself from Hezbollah in the current conflict. There's been some strong words from the president in the last day. Last week, the government even declared Hezbollah's military activities illegal. How significant was this, and is it going to change anything on the ground?
Look, any change in the narrative in Lebanon is welcomed and significant, given the fact that for 30 years, not only was Hezbollah tolerated, it was protected in every cabinet's policy statement, right? The right of resistance. So coming out and actively prescribing Hezbollah's military activities is significant. The president coming out and saying that Hezbollah is dragging Lebanon into another foreign war that's not Lebanon's business is significant. The problem is this remains words. Similar to what we saw over the past year, we saw a lot of seemingly promising words from the Lebanese government, but lack of follow through. And we're still seeing that now. There's been very little action on the ground. I mean, today there was a report that Lebanese military tribunal, so the LAF, has not proactively gone after Hezbollah members. They've detained some gunmen who may or may not be affiliated with Hezbollah at their checkpoints. And today, the media sources were saying that the Lebanese military tribunal released a lot of these potential Hezbollah affiliates on $20 American bail. So not only has the LAF not moved into action to actively disarm Hezbollah, to put Beirut's orders into action, into effect, but the actions that have been taken incidentally against Hezbollah appear to be more a slap on the wrist than anything real. That is troubling. We need to see more from the Lebanese government because it has an opportunity right now that may not come again while Hezbollah's military forces are bogged down against Israel, while the Lebanese people's anger at Hezbollah is at its highest, and while the Lebanese Shiite population that Hezbollah has exploited, as I mentioned earlier, as a shield against disarmament, is in no position to back Hezbollah. This is the moment for Lebanon to act. So if they don't act now, if a ceasefire comes, then I think the chances of Lebanon acting drop precipitously.
But does Lebanon have the capability to effectively disarm Hezbollah on its own?
Well, look, we always hear about a matter of capabilities. What we've seen over the past year, though, in regard to other actors, be it drug smugglers, other militias, the Lebanese army, with its current capabilities, has demonstrated its ability to act, its ability to crack down on drug smuggling and weapons smuggling. When we talk to American military trainers, they talk about the individual Lebanese soldier as being a cut above any other soldier in the Arab world that they've worked with. So the capability is there. The issue is willingness. The Lebanese army, yes, may not have some of the capabilities and the doctrine that Hezbollah has, but as I noted, Hezbollah's forces are right now bogged down with fighting a much more capable and much more powerful enemy, and that's the IDF. And the Lebanese army right now is facing a Hezbollah with its back exposed. Hezbollah itself recognizes this. Naim Qassem, the Deputy Secretary General, in his only speech addressing the war so far, beseeched the Lebanese not to stab Hezbollah in the back. He knows that Hezbollah's back is exposed, and it's up to the Lebanese government now to take advantage of that.
Doesn't this increase the risk of civil war?
Under normal circumstances, it would, but we're not dealing with normal circumstances. As I noted earlier, most of Hezbollah's fighting force right now is bogged down fighting the IDF. Hezbollah has recognized this vulnerability. The Shiite population, which Hezbollah has retained their overwhelming support by hook and by crook, that's what Hezbollah has used against the Lebanese government as a shield, saying, if you come after us, this population of 1 million plus is going to view it as if you're going after their personal interests, their guarantor of their domestic equality, their guarantor of their personal safety against external actors. Except, the Lebanese Shiites have just had another war brought upon them by Hezbollah. They haven't even picked up the pieces of their lives from the last war. So we can assume that perhaps there's some anger spreading into this community. And even if it's not, right, this community is now massively displaced under orders from Israel, and it's in no position to threaten the Lebanese state or to threaten Lebanese security forces in a way that would bring about civil war. This is the opportunity right now to get the job done for Lebanon while Hezbollah is distracted and while its shield in Lebanon is effectively out of commission.
Beirut has said that it's ready for, quote, direct negotiations with Israel. And you've tweeted that this could be a genuine offer, but I highly doubt it. What is it that you doubt?
Well, I doubt Lebanon's genuine willingness to follow through. What we've seen from Lebanon, not just during this round of fighting, but the promises leading up to the November 2024 ceasefire, everything subsequent to that, is that the Lebanese government seems to be willing to offer everything simply to bring an end to Israeli military operations and presence in Lebanon, while it doesn't have the willingness to follow through. Again, if Lebanon wanted to act, it has the opportunity to act right now. And I worry that once again, the Lebanese government is trying to entice Israel and the international community into bringing about a ceasefire, which it obviously has an interest in bringing about. This war is affecting Lebanon. And then once that ceasefire is achieved, using the return to the status quo ante to have any discussions on peace with Israel, just to be lost in the Byzantine maze of Lebanese politics.
Now, Lebanon is in a severe economic crisis. It's only recently come out of a period of political paralysis. What is the risk that what's happening now could destabilise the country and its future even more?
Well, I think as any war will, Lebanon entered this renewed conflict with, I think it's something like $11 billion in damage. As you noted, Lebanon has been in severe economic crisis for 6 years now, going on 6 years. Its international partners, having been fed up of Lebanese promises and little follow through, are unwilling to bankroll the Lebanese government until they see movement towards genuine economic and political reform. Lebanon is going to come out of this with an even bigger bill of damage, massive displacement of the Lebanese Shiite population. I don't see the ability of a lot of these. I think the numbers today were something like 700,000 people displaced. Given the intensity of the Israeli campaign, I don't think that these people are going to be able to return to their homes anytime soon. That's going to add a massive layer of pressure on the Lebanese government, which is already, its budget is already strained. So I think we're moving towards a kind of a dual crisis for this government. Those who want to see Hezbollah disarmed are going to say, well, you had a year and a half, Beirut, to do this. You didn't. You brought this upon us. You are just as culpable as Hezbollah for your inaction. And Hezbollah's supporters may turn to Beirut and say, you didn't do anything to stop Israel's military incursions, right? They're going to parrot the Hezbollah narrative that Beirut failed in its diplomatic course to end Israel's operations in Lebanon, to end Israel's presence in Lebanon, and this allowed, as Hezbollah has put it, a premeditated Israeli war to break out again. So Beirut, you also didn't serve us either. So from both ends, the Lebanese government may find itself pressed.
Thanks a lot for that, David. We've been speaking with David Daoud, Senior Fellow at the Foundation for the Defense of Democracies. Thanks a lot for your analysis.
Thank you so much for having me on.
Big thanks to David Daoud for answering our questions, and we'd like to answer yours too. Please let us know what you think by writing in the comments below. And if you'd like to see more of this, please do hit like and subscribe to the DW News channel.